Hi 7th graders, so in this video I'm going to go through a bunch of 3D shape names so that we know what we're talking about when we go through cross sections. So because a cross section is taking a 3D shape, slicing it a certain way, and then looking at what 2D shape we created from that slice. Alright, so before we need to know 3D shape names. And some of you may know some of these already, and some might be new to you. So first one is a sphere, aka ball, right? So from the center of this, the exact center, if you drew a line out to anywhere on the edge, it would all be the same distance, right? The radius, that's what we had talked about before. That's what makes this a sphere. A cone, right, has a circle shape on the bottom for its base. That's what we call the base of the shape. And then it goes up to one point, or the apex. A triangular prism is called triangular because it's two bases, right? We have a triangle on the top here and on the bottom. Kind of just move it around so you can see it. And then the other faces of the shape, so if you look at it this way, they're all rectangles, all right? But the base is a triangle, so we call this a triangular prism. A cylinder, most of you know this one, like a can of soda, can of green beans, right? A cylinder has a base, bases that are circle. They're circle shape, right? And then it's like just a circle that's extended basically. So these can be taller, shorter, skinnier. All right, so this is a cylinder. We also have not a sphere, but a hemisphere. Half a sphere is what a hemisphere is. So if we look at this one, we can think about this actually being a cross section. Right? If I was to cut my sphere exactly in half horizontally, I'll go like that if you can see the line on it, and break it apart, I would get a shape like this, two shapes like this. So the face of this is a circle. So horizontal cross section of a sphere would be a circle. All right, a square pyramid. Okay, this is a square pyramid. Why do we call it that? Well, the base is a square. Shocking. And then all of its other faces, right, all of these are what shape? Very good. That's a triangle, three-sided shape. So a pyramid, anytime that a shape has the word pyramid in it, it means that it's a 3D shape with one base, after its name. That's why this is called a square, because the base is a square. And then it has triangles for all the remaining faces, okay? And they come up to this one apex, this one point, okay? Next one, hopefully we're familiar with, cube. Okay, so this is a cube, and a cube is special because why? Well, all of these dimensions are the same on a cube. All of these faces on a cube is a perfect square. All right. So most of us know this one. So dice are cubes. You know, some ice cubes are cubes. Maybe they're not perfect though. But this is a cube. They can be different sizes, but can be bigger or smaller. But they have to have the same all three sides the same. The length, the width, and the height all have to be the same length in order for it to be a cube. Okay, which is a little bit different than a rectangular prism. Okay, so these are rectangular prisms, a little bit different shapes. This one, I like to just say rectangular prism is a box, right? So we can have all different shapes and sizes of boxes. So think of a rectangular prism as a box. We can have different size rectangles that are extended out, right? Because this face is the same as this face right here. Same with this one. this one, and this one actually has a square as a base. It's still called a rectangular prism though, because it's extended, right? I'll flip it around like that so you can see it. So just remember that a cube is just a really special kind of rectangular prism. Okay, what's next? Oh, my hexagonal, or no, pentagonal, sorry, 5 sides. Okay, so pentagon has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The little, I like to think of the weird house shapes for pentagons, or our nation's Pentagon, right, is shaped like this. Pentagonal prism means that both bases, right, the base is a pentagon, and then all of the other faces, if I just slowly twist this, you can see are rectangles. All right, so a prism, right, is a 3D shape with 2 congruent parallel sides that it's named after, right? In this case, it's a pentagon. And then rectangles for all the other faces. And the last one I'm going to talk about today is a triangular pyramid. Okay, so a triangular pyramid is a little bit different than the other pyramids, like a square pyramid, because the base is, guess what, also a triangle. I have a red shirt on, and yeah, can you see that? Okay. A triangle base, and then all of the other faces are also triangles. So a triangular pyramid, all of its faces are triangles. Okay, and a face is just like this whole area shape, the 2D shape that it makes up, right? So if we were like to count faces on this one, it would be like 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on the bottom. So this one has 4 faces. Something that we need to know about shapes also are edges. Okay, so edges, think of edges being the line segments that meet all those 2D shapes together. So like this right here, this whole edge is that edge. So we can count how many edges a 3D shape has. And then also we can count vertices. So we've talked about vertex before when we talk about angles. Same kind of idea. It's all where these all meet together and come to a point. So this right here, these right here, right here, right here, are all vertices, right? And we can do that with other shapes too, right? Where they come, take this one, where they all come together, right? This is how many vertices. These are the edges. The whole line right here would be the edge, and then the face is that whole 2D shape that we're talking about. These are triangles all right here, these faces, and this bottom part is the face of a square. So that's really helpful to know. So just keep in mind though that we can have more shapes than this, right? We could have an octagonal prism, right? Which would be a octagon base, 2 octagons that were like an octagon here, parallel octagon here, and then it was connected. And so if you turn it this way, all of its rest of its faces would be rectangle. Okay, we can have other kinds of pyramids. We could have an octagonal pyramid where the base is an octagon shape with 8 sides, and then they all come up to one point, right? So then all those other faces are triangles, all right? So that's why we'll go to my board to just look so you can have this in your notes. That's why I separated these out. Prisms and pyramids, we use that term really specifically, but there can be more than what's listed here. So prisms, again, are a 3D shape, right? Some kind of polyhedron, that's like a 3D polygon, basically, that have 2 of the same or congruent parallel bases, and rectangles for the rest of the faces that it has. Pyramids have triangles for the remaining faces. So that's kind of the difference. So if we go through our list, again, sphere is like the ball, cone is like that ice cream cone. Sorry, I'm out of my video. Triangular prism, right? Triangular prism means it's going to have a triangle base, and then rectangles for all the other faces because of that word prism. Cylinder, we mostly know that. That's the circle that's kind of like stretched out, two parallel circles that are connected to each other that makes like a can. Hemisphere is half a sphere. Square pyramid, again, a square base. That means it has a square base, but because it's a pyramid, it has triangles. Triangles is all the remaining faces. A cube, we talked about why that's special, right? All the same dimensions. Looks like a box, but it has to have all the same 3 dimensions in order to be a perfect square cube and have perfect square faces, right? It has 6 perfect square faces. That's what makes a cube. Rectangular prism means a rectangle is the base, and then the rest are rectangles too. So now we're just taking that cube and making it not a cube by changing all the dimensions, right? So this is just rectangular prisms, or just all different kinds of sizes of boxes. And then pentagonal prism, a pentagon for the base, and rectangles for all the faces. And did I do the last one? No, triangular pyramid would be triangle base, and because it's a pyramid, all the remaining faces are triangles, so it's that triangle at the bottom going up to that top, all meeting at the top. So I hope this helps with naming a bunch of 3D shapes. We're going to be looking at some specific ones to talk about cross sections and then find the area of those cross sections.